What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Redonkulous Gaming. I'm going to go ahead and jump into just a brief update on the Kyrian ability for Blood Death Knight Shackle the Unworthy. We had some pretty major changes the other day, and now that we've had some time to test it, I wanted to go ahead and showcase what it's really all about. I'm going to go ahead and just real quick direct your attention to what the old skill looked like. So previously, prior to September 30th, Shackle the Unworthy did the following. It reduced the all damage to you by 5% over the course of 14 seconds. So while this dot was up, while Shackle the Unworthy was active on an enemy, each rune spent with attacks reduced its cooldown by 4 seconds. So in other words, every time I would go and attack a target with a rune spender with Shackle the Unworthy up, every time I used Heart Strike, every time I used my Marrow Rend, anything that was a rune spender, I had the ability to reduce the cooldown of Shackle the Unworthy, and as you can see, it's a 1 minute cooldown. I had the ability to reduce that by 4 seconds per strike. So if you use all 6 of your runes, right away or over the course of that 14 seconds, at the very least, you're going to take off anywhere between 24 seconds and probably about 32 seconds of that cooldown, which results to really roughly about 50 to 60% uptime, but it only affected a single target. So that is the old one. Now this one is, poof, gone, doesn't exist, right? Enter the new Shackle the Unworthy, the way that they've reworked this thing, and this is interesting, and it changes things quite a bit. So everything is roughly the same in terms of the damage mitigation. It's still a flat 5%, and it now deals more damage over the course of that 14 seconds. So still a 14-second dot, but now when Shackle the Unworthy is active on an enemy, your direct damage attacks that spend runes, so your rune spenders, again, your Heart Strikes, your Marrow Rends, have a 50% chance, a 1 in 2 chance, to spread Shackle the Unworthy to a nearby enemy. So this is where this gets neat, and this is where you can really have some fun and kind of mess with the way that this ability is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it up just so you can see it. I'm going to make sure I'm in combat against at least 2 of these. I'm going to wait for my runes to come back up so I can show this off and get a blood boil out there. So I'm going to go ahead, toss up Shackle the Unworthy. There's the dot right there. So as you can see, it's ticking down. I'm at 10 seconds 9, so on. I'm going to start casting my runes and wait for it to spread. Okay, it just spread, and I have a full duration. It started at 14 seconds. You can see it dropped off of this first target, so I'm going to start spamming my rune spenders, and now, here we go. It's up again on the original target. I'm going to stay in combat with this dummy, start using my rune spenders, and there you go. On the second cast, I got it back up on the secondary target. I'm going to go ahead and hit it again. Got a 14 seconds, so it can ping pong back and forth. So now this becomes pretty darn strong for multi-target. Trying to stay in target. There we go. I was able to keep it up, and now I've got 13 seconds left on my cooldown. So as long as I keep spending my rune spenders, here we go. I got it active on the other target. I'm going to ping pong on back over here. Try to get it to go. And if it falls off, that's okay, because guess what? It's already off cooldown. So between 2 targets, I'm able to ping-pong this thing without really, and all I'm doing is spamming Heart Strike, so I'm not making any tough decisions as far as, which rune spenders I'm using. It might get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more chaotic, but the one thing that you're going to want to pay attention to when you're tanking multiple mobs now is where the heck has the highest dot duration on here. And if it falls off, and as long as you can keep it up for a minute, you can have this thing. Now we're talking about 100% uptime for multiple packs. Now, where this starts to lose its value is single target. And so when we look at the single target, this was strongest before against single target. So let me go ahead and toss it up, show you guys exactly what I mean. I'm going to use my rune spenders, spending runes. Got to heal, runic power, healing. Got 5 seconds left. Death Strike, just keeping myself alive. Used my Heart Strike as much as I could in that window. It's off. So I only had those 14 seconds of uptime, just about a 23% uptime on a single target, and then it just drops because it has no place to spread. So those single target fights, this change very specifically is a nerf to single target fights. So raid boss fights, really maybe in Torghast there's a couple single target fights as well, but it kind of gives you an idea of what it is that you're gaining with this ability, and it's pretty obvious. You're gaining extra damage from it. The mitigation is the same at 5% flat mitigation, but your uptime goes way up against multiple targets. Okay? Now, if we were to look at the original spell tip that we have here, let me go ahead and get it up. We can see, and we'll kind of compare it side by side, that originally I was able to reduce the cooldown against the single target by 4 seconds each time. So you're talking, it's now at about 23% uptime on a single target. Right now it is. And you're talking about it was anywhere from 50 to 60% uptime on a single target previously. So single target nerf, multi-target buff. So this one, I mean, it's kind of up to you, but this is the meaningful choice thing I think Blizzard was trying to go for, and this is the type of balance that we can probably start to see throughout the rest of the abilities. I just wanted to do this quick video to kind of show you the state it was in previously versus where it's ended up now.